Greetings! Skill Incarnate bringing you all the latest indie gaming goodness. Welcome back as we check out another indie game. This time we're looking at Swarm Grinder. This game is the breakout title by small developer Last Bite Games, and is the latest entry in the mobile tower defense genre pioneered by Vampire Survivors. Swarm Grinder takes place on an alien planet, with the player taking control of a pilot who is trying to extract some rare minerals from the planet. The problem is, you're not alone. You'll need to fight your way through an army of alien bugs, extract the valuable materials, and make it back in one piece. Now the game has a very robust set of weapons and upgrades you can find, as well as additional mechs to commandeer. Now, the game also has a few issues, but we're going to talk about them later. It is a very solid game though, and I wanted to show you my progress so far. Let's check out Swarm Grinder. Before we get into the action, I wanted to show you some of my shiny new toys. The first being the Bulletstorm. This mech is a ranged combat specialist, using chain guns, rocket launchers and flamethrowers to decimate your foes from a distance. In addition, we have a number of modules that I've unlocked, including the dash module, poison grenades, armor upgrades and an extended magazine. But my very favourite mech is the Butcher. This bad boy removes conventional weapons in exchange for a number of bladed objects, with a rotating blade that can cut enemies to shreds in seconds. Moving over to the workshop, I have a number of upgrades I've invested in, including damage upgrades, maximum health, and the most important, movement speed. Now, as I favour the Butcher, I have got a number of upgrades centered around blade area, blade size, and blade damage. So, we're going to take the Butcher for a test run, and we're going to up the ante with a brand new skill level. Let's deploy. We have touchdown, and our first job is to get free of our landing pod and get to the first mine. The goal in Swarm Grinder is to survive on the planet long enough to mine the rare minerals, get as many as you can, make it back to the ship without being killed. Now you will be continually attacked by enemies, and every second that you're driving your mech you're going to need more fuel, but thankfully these bugs have a form of biofuel that we can rob off their corpses, so we're going to have to continually kill them to keep our mech fueled up. Now with each one of these mining stations that we can deploy, we will get one upgrade. And your choice of upgrades in this game really will come down to your personal playstyle. I like to use the blade style abilities, anything that will allow me to deploy more blades or to do more damage in a larger area. In this case, I am choosing the vortex blades. These rotating blades are ones that can shoot out from my mech, and they will attack nearby enemies, and with the new upgrade I've just invested in, they will now pull enemies in and hold them still. As you can see, they're fantastic for getting a little bit of heat off you and grouping enemies up for a well-placed rotating blade attack. Again, we have a number of options here. You don't have to go with blades, you can use conventional weapons as well. You can use a bit of a mix. I'm going for blade skills, just because I like to play to the strengths of this mech. It really excels in close range combat, which is what we're going for. Now after a period of time we are going to be attacked by an alien swarm, so we really need to get some upgrades, and we need to get them quick. Whoops, that was a mistake. Now here we've got a set of upgrades, and I'm going to go for the Count Catalyst. This is one of the best ones in the game. For each 4 minutes spent after I get this, I will get one additional blade. And that means an extra rotation of these, and at the highest level, this will absolutely crush anything in the way. So what I'm looking for in addition to the upgrades are permanent upgrades I can find for the mech. You can find crashed mechs that belong to other pilots that didn't make it out. You can plunder these and find some really nice upgrades. Now we've got at the bottom a counter saying there is an incoming wave. But we're in a really good spot here because this upgrade station will increase my damage. You can see I'm doing a ton of damage. I'm going to take these feather blades and we're going to go for durable blades. And you can see the swarm has found me. I just have to keep moving. Very nicely done. So I'm basically trying to focus on finding these. These eggs here will spawn aliens. They've also got this bio material that I can take for myself and get more upgrades at the mech shop. You just have to kill it. Yep, beautiful. We've got one. We're going to need a ton of these if we want to upgrade my blades to the next level. And you can, of course, I'm going to re-roll these. Beautiful. Cleaver. We're doing quite well. I'm, of course, trying to go for a purely blade-based build. Easier said than done. I've used all my re-rolls, so whatever we get next, I'm just going to have to settle for. But the early upgrades in the game really do affect your entire run from here, so I'm not really happy with these upgrades. I'm just going to go for that pacemaker, which will give me just a passive health upgrade. That'll do for now. Health and fuel. Now, taking a fair bit of damage here, we need to be careful. Also need to watch my fuel. And you don't want to venture too deep into the enemy territory, because if you get you go too far and you unlock too many enemies, you'll end up with a crowd so big you won't be able to take care of them. So we've got another wave incoming. I've got 30 seconds. I'm going to try and take care of these guys, get to the mine, refill my fuel if I can. You can really see that these upgrades, I'm starting to do some real damage now. Now again, another useless upgrade, unfortunately. I'll go for Lucky Charm. Oh, took some damage there. Now I do have the dash module, which you've seen me use a few times to get out of danger. If the enemies do make connection with me, they will actually hold you in place, and then you're pretty much dead if you get a group attacking you. Okay, beautiful. Got some health. Now you'll find these radio stations, and they're really fantastic, as long as you remain within the station range, you will get a random bonus. In this case, it halves the cooldown on my abilities. You can see I can attack almost continuously. And over to the right, we have one of the mechs that I'm looking for. This mech will have a random permanent upgrade, if I can get to it, the scope. And this will give me a critical chance, a 5% boost to my critical hit chance, which is nothing to sneeze at. Now, the longer the time goes on, obviously enemies are going to get more dangerous, more numerous, and this is where I have to mention the one problem with the game. Now, this game is not very well optimized with large enemy numbers on the screen. And you'll probably notice the game starts to chug when you get a large amount of enemies on the screen. And eventually, if you remain on a level too long, the amount of enemies gets so numerous that my computer can't keep up with it. So it kind of gives you a hard limit. You can't really stay in the area any longer than about 15 minutes. Otherwise, unless you've got a NASA computer, you're just not going to be able to keep up with the performance drop. So let's ooh, burn chance by 50%. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. I'll take a higher chance. Very nice. I'm trying to keep an eye on the timer too. You never know when the next enemy wave's going to hit. I also have to keep an eye on my fuel. You can see my health's not doing too great. The other thing I want to do is destroy these spawner eggs, because if we can get rid of those, they'll stop enemy spawning, and they'll also give me a number of bio shards I can use to upgrade my mech back at base. Now, all these temporary upgrades are nice and all, but it's the permanent stuff I'm after. And this is just the first level of the game. It gets real. Now here we've got our first mini boss, a subterranean worm. I'm going to try and avoid, if I can. Let's go with full power. You can see those rotating blades are really doing their work. They can keep enemies in one spot, and that means I can plan my attacks out and hit a bunch of them at once. I'd really like to get rid of this guy. Beautiful. Now with these stations, you do want to use them as much as you can. We're doing good, we're putting in work. Beautiful, first boss taken out. Yeah, I'm going to go for vortex blades. And I think burn chance. Seeing as we've purchased the Blades of Hell upgrade, let's boost it a bit more. Look at this, beautiful. This is a thing of beauty. Oh, even more burn chance. Now upgrades do stack, so you do want to try and find your build and commit to it. It is better to pick a few weapons and upgrade them heavily than to have a bit of a jack of all trades. I've found I've invested very heavily into bladed weapons, and you can see it's starting to pay off. Blade critical chance. Yeah, critical chance. Now I've got another wave coming in, so I'm going to try and use this damage station to my advantage. I'm probably not going to be able to stay here, but and you can see we just wiped out that whole wave in seconds. Just by sticking in the area where the upgrade was. Now, I do have the end of the level, but I reckon we can stay here a little bit longer, but we can't leave this too long, because as I said, the game's performance is already starting to bottom out. And I don't think any computer is going to help. I think this comes down to just the game's overall performance. I think what they need to do is have fewer enemies on screen and maybe increase their health or their movement speed, because once you get past a certain number of enemies, the game just can't keep up. Go over here. And you can see the fire damage is really chipping away at him now. Got a key over here. You want to try and keep an eye on the location of those rotating deployable blades and stay in that area and suck the enemies in. I'm taking a bit of damage here, so I've got to be careful. Just got myself an upgrade. We go for the cleaver. So here we've got all cooldown. Yes. So I'm going to do 15% faster attacks. We really need some health right now. I really wish these guys would drop some health for me. Okay, 48 meters. I'm a little worried. Not much health to find. So we've got 2 more keys to find. $30 meters. We're starting to get down to the last section of the match, and this is where they're going to pull out all the stops on me. So I'm up to 4 blades now. There's a bit of health. We need to get some health. There's my second of 3 keys. Now, if you can get all 3 keys, you'll be able to unlock some really nice upgrades. But they're often found on opposite sides of the map, so I've only managed to pull it off a couple of times. We'll see how we go. Nope, we've got another enemy wave incoming, so let's use these. You can already see the game starting to struggle now. Now, if we manage to defeat this map on the next difficulty, I can unlock the third and final mech in the game. Let's go with landing blades. This means that the blades can be thrown to the ground where they'll deploy and leave a kind of like a spike strip. We've got we're gonna make out of this pretty well if I can make it out alive. Problem is the enemies are getting pretty numerous and my PC's starting to struggle a bit. If you do remain longer than probably about 20 minutes, eventually the game, at least for me, it got so slow that I couldn't play it. Oh, like I died because it became like a PowerPoint. So it's kind of soft locked me out of some of the achievements, which is a bit frustrating, but it is something. It doesn't make the game unplayable, but just be aware that this is a thing in the game, which is a bit of a pain. I think they could probably either fix it by making the enemies a little bit more challenging, and rather than relying on high enemy numbers, relying on them being a bit tougher and harder to kill. Because you really cannot stay on this map more than 20 minutes. Once you get past that 20-minute mark, the game is like a PowerPoint. It gets so slow. So we've got one final key down here, about 40 meters away. I hope I can get to it. Okay, more vortex blades. Let's do it. Burn chance. Blade area. There we go. Now you notice the radius of the blades. You can see they're crazy big now. And I'm up to 5 rotations now with these bad boys. meters away from my third and final key. Come on, baby. Yeah, we're pretty dinged up. I don't know if we'll be able to make it. What will give up first, my mech or my PC's GPU? It's starting to struggle. The game's starting to really chug. Let's go with cooldown, blade damage. 15% extra damage. Yeah, I'm taking that. Okay, now things are starting to get crazy. I don't know if we can beat this. We can get to the damage station, we'll be good. There we go, you can see Just a ridiculous upgrade that you get in damage. It doubles your damage. Okay, the final key, and then we can head to the exit. Everlasting Storm. I think I'm going to go with hit interval. I think these are pretty much oh, look at that, another burn chance. Like these blades, those vortex blades now have like a virtual certainty of setting enemies on fire. Look at this, it's setting everything on fire. You should call them pyromaniac blades. Oh, we've got 3 mines next to each other. Let's do it. Dropping those mining modules will kill anything underneath it, so you can actually use those strategically. And you can see the area on my blades now is crazy. I don't even have to be close to them now. I'm up to 6 rotations on these now. And, oh, even more damage. Let's do it. These are crushing everything now. The only thing you have to be aware of too is the further you push your mech, the more fuel you need to run it. Because I've got so many high-end upgrades. It's expensive to run this. Like, it's very expensive. You can see I'm burning through fuel really quickly. I have to just keep continuously hunting more. More blade damage. Hell yeah, let's do it. Gotta kill that boss. Man, he's hurt me so bad. More feather blades. Let's go with critical chance. Come on, baby! If I can kill this boss, I'll be able to refill my health. Get wrecked, son. Boss down. Let's go with critical damage and lucky charm. And more critical damage. Oh, we're out of fuel. Another wave incoming. I've got to take these guys out before... Oh, too late. Here it comes. My upgrades are so crazy high now, you can just see my fuel just getting decimated. I can do heaps of damage, but I need to find more enemies to kill to keep my fuel counter in the green. Shredder. Oh, an extra spin. Our blade area. Oh, yeah, extra spin. The only problem is I've just got to, like, if I go crazy with my upgrades, I've just got to watch my fuel counter. You can see how quickly it's going down. There we go. Even bigger blade. Look at this. Helicopter blades, baby. It's the fuel. Fuel's my main problem now. Now you can get upgrades that increase your fuel tanks and your fuel consumption as well, which I've largely been ignoring, which I'm obviously heavily regretting about now. Let's go get this one to the north. Yeah, eventually you kind of hit critical mass and your computer just can't hack it anymore, and that's usually when it's time to bug out. And we're kind of getting to that point now. Let's go with damage. If we can make it through this, we're going to make out of this with tons and tons of cash. The other mech is quite good, but I've just found this mech just has a damage output that just it outstrips everything else in the game by far. Let's go. Oh wow! Okay, we'll take that. You want to try and memorize these station locations. It's not always ideal to fight here, but if you've got a swarm incoming in a few seconds, definitely worth staying near these. Let's go with another cleaver upgrade. There we go. So these are fully upgraded, the rotating blades. Now I can start upgrading my throwing knives. We've got a little bit too ambitious there. I think we've only got the last station, and we've done this. I've never actually made it through this. This is hard mode. It's no, we're not going to make it before the next swarm hits. Let's clean up what we've got here first. Because it's about to get crowded in here. Come get some. Alright. Don't know if we're going to be able to do this. Oh. Thank you, damage station. Oh, I'm not going to... The next swarm's going to kill me. We need to get out of here. Even with all these upgrades. Excellent, we've got one more and we're free and clear. Let's do this. Now that so they're fully upgraded. Okay, let's get myself fueled up. And now we have to take on the boss if we can get there alive. You can see the sort of damage they're doing to my mech too. One wrong step and it's game over for me. Few meters away from victory. Oh, and this is what I was talking about. So unfortunately the enemy's kind of reached critical mass now on my computer. You probably feel the speed dropping. Little I can do apart from ride out the storm at this stage. Oh man, if I can do this, it's going to be one hell of a hat trick. Ouch! He's down to half health. I reckon we can do this. If we get another swarm come in, we'll be in trouble, but a couple more, come on baby! Yeehaw! Woo! And I think we've upgraded, we've got a new mech. We have! We've got the cave map. And we've managed to defeat the first sector of Swarm Grinder on the hard difficulty. Now there's actually one more difficulty higher than this, but because we've been playing a while, that second map's going to have to wait till next time. But as I said, this is a fantastic game. It's really well priced as well, a great budget game in the vein of Vampire Survivors. But I guess your decision has to lie around the issue with the performance. As you can see, once you reach a certain amount of time, the game's speed just drops out, and that's just because there's too many enemies on screen. And hopefully this is something the developer can fix. My suggestion would be to add fewer enemies, but maybe add some more variance, make the enemies harder to kill, and add a hard cap on how many enemies can attack on screen at once, because eventually, without that cap, you will end up with so many on screen that your processor is just going to have a heart attack. So hopefully you enjoyed the game. Hopefully you enjoyed this look at Swarm Grinder. I do love the game despite these issues, and hopefully the developer will see this and make some improvements to the game, because it really is a great budget, Swarm survival game. So hopefully you enjoyed this, and hopefully you'll join me next time when we check out another indie game. Until then, Skill Incarnate, out.